Hi there. I'm a little dressed up today because I'm getting ready to go to a surprise birthday party. And oddly enough, this birthday party is for a friend who just came over today for help with wrapping her newborn twins. They were 6 weeks old, super cute. So we worked on Amanda's Tandem, and together we kind of worked out a couple little minor alterations, and I'm going to do it again for YouTube. So any other twin moms, my friend Emily found this very helpful today, and I'm gonna give it a try. So we're gonna find the middle marker, and I'm going to bunch, and I'm gonna put the bottom right here. I'm gonna bring this over my shoulder. I should probably get my hair out of the way. I don't have a hair tie handy. And I'm not using real babies today because I don't have 2 demo dolls. So I'm gonna use 1 demo doll. I could actually flip this. 1 demo doll. And then I'm gonna fill the other side with a wrap. Okay, so Amanda's is normally like this, but we're going to do it with the eyelet. 2 reasons. Everyone knows that I love eyelets. I love fancy finishes, but also what the eyelet does is it actually makes the carry function a little bit better, because with Amanda's, this tends to separate and the babies end up in your armpit. In your armpits. They just keep kind of going sideways. So when you twist it, it kind of creates this pull for these tucks that come in here to stay together. When it's open like this, it's way more open and the babies end up way over here. We're gonna do an eyelet. So from behind, I'm gonna reach across and make both of these tails come across. There we go. And then I'm going to bring this under and out of the eyelet. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Bring that tail up, across the back, the front. Go under, and then through. And one of the things that Emily was saying is a bit tricky is, first of all, keeping them even, because sometimes she finds one is lower than the other, and keeping the tension while putting one baby in on the other side. So twofold, putting the first baby in, keeping everything tight on the right side so everything doesn't move over while you're putting that baby in and you're tight, because it'll do this. And second, when the first baby's in, keeping that first baby safe before tying off while you're putting the second baby in. So, first of all, I'm gonna kind of tighten that up a little bit. Is a size 8 and it doesn't have other rails, so you have to manage them. I have to manage them myself. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the baby on this side first. So on this side, I'm going to kind of tighten it up pretty good, and then I'm going to bring it behind me, and I'm going to show you this technique. I'm going to tuck it. Kind of weird with this too. Better without the dress. Tuck it between my legs to hold that. And I'm gonna pull it between my legs just to keep it nice and taut. Okay? So it's almost moved this way a little bit, but that's okay because when I tighten this, it's gonna pull. So I'm gonna grab the first baby, which is my demo doll baby. And I'm going to slide her in. in the top. Making a little seat. And then I'm going to use this here, this tail in the eyelet. So what I like to do when I'm tightening anything like this through a ruck strap or something like this is hold both the bottom and the top rail and kind of just snug that up tautly. And then I'm going to bring it over the baby, and then I'm just going to kind of work my way down. So from here, I think the traditional version is to put it under the leg, but we were talking about how her itty bitty babies didn't really like that, so I'm going to pose this as a second option to just leave it above. You make a good seat and you don't have seat poppers and you really tighten that bottom rail good, you should be fine. Oh, also this trick. So I'm going to show you both my hands. This hand is going behind my back. And this hand is going to come back here and hold the tail. Now this hand is free for me to work out the slack and pass it to this hand. I'm going to do the same on the bottom rail. Make sure that that seat is still very firmly in place. So even with a little leg straightening, if your bottom rail is really snug, it's not so bad unless you have a serious leg straightening. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this tail around. I'm going to hold on to this one now. I'm going to bring it underneath, bring this around, tuck it between my legs, and now this one, I'm just going to kind of, I'm going to leave a little slack, that between my legs too. Just enough so I can put my baby in, which is just another wrap. Okay, so now I'm gonna hold the baby. Make sure the other tail is securely between my knees, okay? And then say this baby is in here. Now, making that top rail snug, it's gonna go on the neck, the nape of baby's neck. And again, I'm going to kind of hold the top third and the bottom third of the wrap kind of opposite directions while I kind of tighten and bring it. And then, again, kind of gather. Make sure that second seat is nice and taut. Okay, now again, both hands. Bring this hand back behind you and pass it the opposite hand. Freeing up this hand because this is what we want. Make sure this slack gets worked out and pass it. Slack, work it out, pass it to the other hand. This is pretty important when you got floppy babies to keeping them secure in there. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this around. And normally what we would do now is just tie it in front. If you had a shorter wrap, you could tie it back. But this feels very choky to me, and it felt choky to Emily too. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this back in my leg. So I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to make this Strangleproof. Watch out for baby's head. I'm going to bring it over and under. Careful not to punch yourself. I just did. Okay. I want you to see that. Okay. tiny, tiny little newborns. Actually, I'm moving this under there instead of over.
Are you almost done, Mama?
Nope. Okay, now what's cool is what we discovered here is using this tail to support baby's neck. And then I'm just going to tuck it through the eyelet. And I'm only going to be able to do this with a pretty long wrap. This is a base plus 2 for me. But Emily is also borrowing my Rhapsody hybrid, which is pretty long, and it worked with the Rhapsody hybrid. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here on this side. So now we've pulled this away from the neck, which feels much better.
When his butt was flapping.
And the other cool thing about this, I'll show you real quick, and Emily really liked too, is that this creates an opportunity for a bounce and tighten. Felt really good for her. So, okay, so we have this, come around, and go through here. And then this one, we'll do the same thing. Bring it around the neck. And then tuck it through the eyelet. Okay, so that's really cool because that gives little itty bitty babies that head support, kind of like an Anne's front wrap cross carry. You can use the tails to support their heads. And it also makes this Strangleproof. However, both Emily and I noticed that when we do the Strangleproof tucks, it puts a lot of the weight right here. Which, you know, you can kind of spread it out, try to make that a little bit better. What I did for her is I went up behind her and I took that cross and I separated it on her back, and that helps a lot too. If you have a friend to help just kind of separate that cross behind you, that's really great. The other thing that we decided to try, which removes the Strangleproof aspect, but still give the babies a little extra head support, is to tie this in front here. This will also keep the babies close together and from going into your armpit. And it will give them that head support that they need. So I hope this helps some other twin moms. Again, you need a very long wrap to do this. With newborns, a base plus 2, I would say. Emily almost pulled it off with a size 7, but she's smaller than me, so size 7 might be a base plus 1.5 to a base plus 2 for her. So, but it's a really great way to kind of just tweak Amanda's, and this is Amanda's with an eyelet. So if you want to just tie it in front, works as well, especially when the babies get older and they have more head control and you start getting used to this being uncomfortably close to your neck. So I hope that helps.